why you came today, to find out what is slope-intercept form. Did I show you Descartes yesterday? The what?
No.
No. Descartes, I forgot what year he was born. It's like 17 something. He, imagine this, dedicated his life to graphing.
Wow.
Can you imagine how fun that would be? Wakes up in the morning, starts graphing. Graphs all day, goes to bed. So fun. So fun. Descartes came up with this thing called slope-intercept form. You have a little picture of it, not him, of slope-intercept form. So he said, you know that slope thing that we've been practicing?
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to put the slope always next to x. Right now, he put a variable there to hold the spot of 100 different slopes or 200 different slopes. So whatever number we see next to x is our slope number. And then he said, whatever number is in the spot of this b hops out and a number hops in, that's going to be our y-intercept. Do you see where there's a little picture of that already for you? It reminds me of the equation that Pete wrote yesterday, actually. Pete said y equals 3x plus 1. It was the very bottom one on yesterday's notes. And he wrote this equation for us. So in this equation, m jumped out, 3 jumped in. Guess what 3 is? The slope. Look at that. Pete found the slope yesterday and he didn't even know it. And then he had that plus 1 at the end. So b hopped out, 1 hopped in. Guess what 1 is? The y-intercept. Any idea what a y-intercept could be? Jake?
The run?
Good guess.
The run.
It's not the rise or the run. Because that's the slope.
Oh, yeah. The run.
It makes me think of football a little bit, like interception. If I'm trying to throw a ball to Godiva, but Allie comes right in the middle, jumps in the middle and catches it, that's an interception, right? Mm-hmm. So it makes me think about that a little bit because a y-intercept, if this is my line, it jumps in right here on the y-axis and kind of like cuts the line off right there. Like Allie jumps in and catches the football. So the y-intercept, this is on the very top, right by your staple. You see it? Mm-hmm. Very top, right by the staple. Y-intercept. The y-intercept is where that line that we're drawing crosses the y-axis. So last week we probably did 10 lines every day, and it had a y-intercept. We just didn't know its name at that point. But today we know its name. This dot right here, where my line and the y-axis cross. So now we know two really cool things about Pete's equation from yesterday. We know, we can't even see Pete's line, but we know that his line is going to cross the y-axis at 1. So whatever number is kind of hanging out by itself. And then we also know something else about Pete's line. The slope is 3. Wait a second.
Over 1.
Can you read my mind? I was literally going to say I thought it was supposed to be a fraction, and then Preston said over 1. Why do we want it to be over 1? So you have a rise and a run. You can't just have rise. Rise 3, run 1. Rise 3, run 1. Can you picture Pete's line right now?
Mm-hmm.
Rise 3, run 1. Rise 3, run 1. Rise 3, run 1. Jump? I know, I need to jump higher. Is that kind of making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Look at this one. The number that's by itself, 3. So up here, we started at 3. What's the slope?
-1/2.
-1, what does negative mean?
Down.
Down 1, run 2. Down 1, run 2. Down 1, run 2. Down 1, run 2. See how that's making our line for us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be so great. If we can remember these 2 little tricks of y-intercept and slope, our graphs can go so much faster. And then you are going to think this is the graphing fun zone because it's going to be so fun. Okay, let's try another one. So your top graph says this, right? And Descartes says whatever number is kind of hanging out by itself is the y-intercept. I think it's good on the first days that we're practicing this to label it. Because you just learned this for the very first time 5 minutes ago. And then he said the thing that was connected to x.
Slope.
Yeah, so we will call this our slope. Why do I care about something called a y-intercept? Maddie.
That's where the line crosses the y-axis.
She's so good. This is Maddie's line. We don't know what Maddie's line looks like, but we know it's going to cross at 2. The y-axis, this is the y-axis, right? And Maddie's line are crossing at 2. So we go ahead and we put a dot at 2. And then the slope tells us it's tilt. So are we tilting up or down?
Down.
Down
1.
1,
Over 3.
run 3. Down 1, run 3. Down 1, run 3. Down 1, run 3.
This is a nice house.
It is a nice help, isn't it? Wow, I can totally skip that XY chart if I can remember his 2 little tricks.
Yeah, bro.
Isabel.
Oh, is there gonna be like an x-intercept?
There is such a thing as an x-intercept, but it doesn't really help us. So we don't have to learn. It's there, but it doesn't help us. How about that for now? Do you have your straight edge? Also, did you notice how easy it was? I could do 4 dots so easy. It was so fast and so easy. I could do 4 dots. I can totally skip an XY chart if I can remember these two little tricks. Great.
So the y-axis is where you would like start.
You can kind of thinking it like a starting dot. Because I know there for sure has to be a dot at 2. That's the only for sure point. But I can find more points by following the slope, which is telling me how much to tilt it. Ready for the middle one? So I'm looking for two things, a slope and a y-intercept. Do we see either of those? Drake?
The 2 actually is the slope, and the 3 is the y.
Okay, Drake's line. Oh, I'm noticing something here. Zach Elstrom?
You have to put a 1 beneath the 2.
Okay, I'm coming right back to that. Maddie?
That's going to be -3.
Good eye! Drake's line is starting at -3. And then Zach Elstrom said, wait, slope is supposed to be a fraction, so I better put a 1 under there. Drake's line is starting at -3. That's down, right? And now we know the tilt. Rise 2, run 1. Rise 2, run 1. Rise 2, run 1. You can maybe do 5 or 6. Seven even. We can do more than 3 because it's so easy to just follow that tilted line. Anybody want to ask for help so far? Okay, Bryn?
I'm looking at the next one, and there's no number with the hex. Oh, okay.
I know that one. It is so tricky because it looks like, what? How can we have a line with no slope?
There's hardly
We put our hiding 1 in there. Now it has a slope.
we have to add another one.
And then you have to put a run 1. What's this for anyway? Allison?
The y.
Allison's line starts at 4. One, two, three, 4. Are we tilting up or are we tilting down? Oh, negative, down. Down 1, run 1, down 1, run 1, down 1, run 1. Maybe I can do 10 dots this time.
I want 11. Got 17. And we just went up 2.
Are you going the same direction as me? Everybody's going down 1, run 1. It's kind of like a diagonal from each corner of the box to the other corner of the box. You getting the hang of it? Bottom row on the left. Maddie notices something?
The numbers were switched.
What? Can they do that to us?
You can either switch them back.
Oh, switch them back, she says. She noticed that the X that was first before is now last. She says if you don't like it that way, switch it back. What number is by itself? 7. Why do we care about 7?
Because it's the y-intercept.
And then we need a slope.
That's half.
If it bugs you that it's written slanted like that, just change it. Make it a straight fraction bar instead. Zach, Zach Boyce, do you have any idea where we should start?
Up 7.
Yeah, Zach's line starts at 7. The high one. Weston, any idea how to find more points? Any idea about like rise or run? Addison? Okay, so the top number is always rise and the bottom number is always run. Rise 1, run 2. Rise 1, run 2. Rise 1, run 2. I could fit 4. Bottom, middle. Ugh. Can't do it. Don't know where to start. It literally, I can't do it. How am I supposed to do it? Plus, Bryn?
Can you make your own y-intercept?
That would be really nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Except we can't.
Oh.
I agree with you though. Can I just start wherever I want? Maddie, where are you think?
Well, that one's next to x, so I'm guessing that's probably the slope.
Yes.
And is there just not a y-intercept?
Right, so we can't graph it then because there's no y-intercept?
When you can, you can't figure it out.
Right?
You started the very middle of the x and y axis and then just go up 3 and then put the 1 under the 3 as a fraction.
How did you know to start in the middle?
0.
Oh, yeah. What's 3x plus 0? 3x.
0.
Someone got lazy. Who was it? Who was being lazy?
I think it was Bird.
0.
And they didn't write the plus 0 and it totally tricked us. Because really 3x plus 0 is 3x. So they just dropped that extra part. Except we needed the extra part to know that we should start at 0. Look at that. Come back next week. The ones that start in the middle have a special name.
Right.
I know. Great.
So excited.
How am I going to find more points then, Mason?
Go up 3 and then go over 1.
Rise 3, run. I kind of feel like it's a song sometimes. Rise 3, run 1. Rise 3, run 1.
If Leighton was here, he could have given you a beat.
Does he do that?
That was his pencil. He's constantly tapping his pencil.
Do you think if I made a song about slope that people would download me?
Maybe. SoundCloud
Having
rapper.
iPads.
Like swimmer.
I'm going to try it.
Miss
We
Wimmer.
can make $1 or $2.
Yeah, some math stuff. Miss Math.
To buy a coffee, maybe.
We're looking.
Last one. Drake.
So 7x is your slope and 3 is your y-intercept.
Drake, when you go home today and your dad says, "What did you learn at school?" Are you gonna start telling him about slope? Yes. Taylor, do you remember why I care about this 3? Yeah. Allie, do you remember why I care about the 7? Go up 7, Addison? Oh, yeah. Over 1. Perfect, you 3. Are you guys already done? You beat me?
No.
Rise 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. Try to be really straight on this one because we only have room for 2 dots. Drake.
If you want to try another dot, you can go down 7 and over 3.
You could.
Oh, I did that. I did.
You did it
I
backwards?
did rise 7 over up 3.
So you flipped them accidentally. That's okay. Happens all the time.
I'm just gonna leave it.
Again, it's the first day that we're practicing this. Now, if you're in 11th grade doing it backwards, the teacher might be a little upset with you. But right now, it's okay. And we just say, okay, try again. No big deal.
Okay, try again.
What?